Yeah. All right, good morning. This is Judge Higbee. I think we're on the record. Can you all hear me down there?
Good morning, Judge Alicia Smith on behalf of the Public Defender's Office. Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, so I understand that we had an add-on to the list this morning. Clayton Guy Hutchins? Oh, I'm sorry. State, can you announce your presence on the record as well?
Katrina Mosiski for the state.
And if I could have pretrial place themselves on the record as well.
She's coming in now, Judge. One moment.
Okay?
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Leela Brown for pretrial release.
All right, thank you so much. All right, now, I think it was Mr. Clayton Hutchins. Is Mr. Hutchins present? Or did he not get added on?
We don't have it on our list, Judge.
Okay, he had been brought up previously, was not interested in pretrial release, but that's, Judge Arendis was the one that set this, so let's add him back on to, I guess it's Monday when she would be.
It'll probably
Yes,
be
Your Honor.
It'll probably be a different judge, but we can reset him and add him back
Yeah,
on.
let's reset him for Monday. I'm not comfortable changing another judge's conditions of release without having more information. So, okay, and then we'll
fine,
go
Judge.
ahead and get started with the regular docket then. I have Miss A.L. Ambrose.
Yes, I can. He's on probation, same victim.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Are you Miss A.L. Ambrose?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and what is your date of birth, sir?
April 30th, 1993.
All right, sir, you're before the court today charged with trespass of an occupied structure. Court finds probable cause to support that charge. You have filled out a first appearance sheet, so the court's going to grant your request and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Bond in this case is $500. The court's going to stay the bond and also put a no return to the location where you were arrested. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Bond stayed. Yep.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
there was one that the deputies were asking to do out of order if possible. Otero Rivera.
Sure, I'll be happy to handle that. Just give me a second to pull his paperwork. He's welcome to approach in the meantime.
Judge, whenever you get a moment, respectfully, can you repeat his conditions or?
No return.
No return. Bond stayed and no return.
He qualifies for PTR?
Direct.
Yes, he qualifies for direct. Your
Judge,
Honor.
Mr. Abreeze qualifies for direct pretrial release. Would the court consider direct PTR with the no return provision?
State's position on that?
We'll defer to the court on that one, Your Honor.
Okay, well, he meets the criteria, it looks like. Do y'all still have mental health PTR?
I don't know, Your
Yes, Your Honor, we do. However, on the weekends, we cannot verify. So if he's placed on PTR, can it be PTR with mental health conditions?
Let's do that then. I don't have any objection to that, so we can change it from the bond stayed to PTR with mental health conditions, PD still appointed.
Thank you,
Okay.
Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are we ready to go to Mr. Otero Rivera?
Yes, Judge, if the court is.
All right, good morning, sir. What is your name, please?
Good morning, Christopher Otero Rivera,
All right, sir, and what is your date of birth?
November 19th, 1987.
Okay, all right, sir, you're before the court today charged with violation of a domestic violence injunction. Bond was previously set at none. The court needs to evaluate that. So first thing I'm going to do is appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. So, sir, are you on any kind of probation or parole at this time?
Yes.
Okay, you're on active probation?
Judge, for one moment, I would ask that you not inquire as to his directly from him. You
Then I'll
can ask
inquire from you.
PTR as to those conditions.
Okay, well, are you?
I'm not sure, Judge.
Okay, so PTR?
I'm not giving that information.
What's he on probation for?
Yes, Your Honor. He's on felony probation. One moment, please. Your Honor, he's on felony probation for intimidating witness.
Okay. State wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we're going to ask that the bond remain at 0, and if you choose to do set a bond, we're going to ask for a high set bond be set in this case due to the allegations of the charging affidavit and the facts of the case.
Okay, Madam Public Defender?
Yes, Judge, we don't actually have the warrant. All I have is the copy of the sheet says to be set at IAs. I've inquired from pretrial release as well as the booking department to try to get an actual copy of the warrant to see the allegations. From the sheet that I said is to be set at IAs, it's a misdemeanor violation of injunction, so he's entitled to bond. So I'd ask it to be set at $1,500.
Well, he's also on felony probation, correct? So when
At this point, we don't know this is I'm sorry, Judge. At this point, we don't know this is a violation of the probation without knowing the warrant, the dates of the allegations in the warrant to determine that he was actually on probation at the time of the allegations in this warrant. We don't know that it actually truly is a violation of a probation.
Okay, then I'll see him tomorrow.
Are we going to have the warrant tomorrow, Judge?
I hope so. If you don't, then he'll be seen on Monday. But I don't have the warrant, you don't have the warrant, so I'm not comfortable doing anything without a warrant other than holding him on no bond and alleged by BOP. So if the allegation did not occur during a probationary period, I'd like to know that. I don't have that information, so we bump him to tomorrow.
For the violation of probation or for the violation of injunction, just to be clear, Judge?
We're going to bump him to tomorrow for all of the above. I'd like to assess this in totality.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, any other move-ups requested?
No, Judge.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the regular docket. Hector Avance.
It's part of the and it can only put plus when it gets to those 2 counts.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. You're before the court today with an alleged violation of your probation or community control. Is this out of Polk County, Madam Public Defender?
I only get the cover sheet from the warrant. I believe it's an Osceola warrant, though.
Okay, if it's Osceola, then I'm going to go ahead and appoint your office to represent him. Leave the bond at none. And I guess that's it for today.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
For tomorrow. Yeah, we'll set both the new allegation and the alleged BOP for tomorrow. Okay, next is Ebony Bell. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name, please?
Ebony Bell,
All right, Miss Bell, what's your date of birth?
02-1401.
Okay, ma'am. Court finds that there's probable cause to support the charge of 1 count of misdemeanor battery. I am going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. And looks like, was the alleged victim arrested too? Is that person present, Madam Public Defender?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Jackson? Yes, Judge, he's in the back.
Okay. Do you wish to be heard as far as bond and conditions of release? This is a DB battery.
Shouldn't have a bond.
Does she have any rights?
No.
She has no priors. We asked for a straight ROR in this case or a $500 bond. My understanding is that no longer can they do direct PTR on domestic cases.
Right.
But due to the fact that she has no history, I'd ask for a straight ROR or a low bond in this case.
Okay, state wish to be heard?
We'll defer to the court's judgment on this. However, we just ask that there be no contact with the alleged victim in this case.
Okay, so that's
Judge,
fine.
and speaking with Mr. Jackson,
Go ahead, ma'am.
were you talking to me or?
I was.
Me, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, in speaking with Mr. Jackson, he does desire contact with Ms. Bell, and she does also desire contact with him, which we can address when we do his case.
Then at the very least, we ask that no hostile contact be ordered.
Okay.
That's fine, Judge.
I need to confirm with him, but as long as he states on the record that he doesn't have an issue with it, then the court would do about a $500 bond with pretrial release, no hostile contact, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition need to be turned into the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of release. And we'll just confirm the no hostile when the alleged victim comes forward for his issues. Okay? Anything else?
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
No, Judge.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Anthony Baran.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Anthony Bram,
And your date of birth?
April 5th, 1995.
Okay. The court's reviewed the affidavit on this. I do find probable cause. State wish to be heard on this?
And for the record, Your Honor, this is Anthony Baram. Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, sir. Ma'am, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Judge, we'd ask that the bond be reduced in this case. If he qualifies for that.
For Barron, he qualifies for straight PTR.
Well, he actually qualifies for straight pretrial release, Judge. I asked for a straight pretrial release with a no return provision.
Granted. Court's going to set straight PTR, no return to the location where he was arrested. And that's as to both counts.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. James Blake. Good morning, Mr. Blake. Is your date of birth 3/14/81?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're before me today for a first-degree misdemeanor of trespass of an occupied structure. You're also out on bond, it looks like, for grand theft in case number 2019 CF 2479. Court's going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. Based on your criminal history, the court's going to leave the bond the same on the new charge with a no return. Court's going to revoke bond on 2019 CF 2479. Is the public defender appointed on that case?
I'm not sure, Judge. If we aren't, could we be appointed?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The one I revoked is none. And PD appointed, if not previously. PD appointed on the new one. Bond stayed, additional, no return. Chelsea Brown. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Chelsea Brown, 12/13/1988.
Okay. You're before the court today charged with trespass of an occupied structure or conveyance. Court has reviewed the file, finds that there is probable cause. I'm going to, you did not want a lawyer appointed, is that right?
You want the public defender's office appointed? Yeah. She does, Judge, and I believe she filled out an application and was provisionally appointed by the clerk.
Okay, court's going to appoint a public defender to represent you. And do you wish to be heard regarding PTR?
Yes, she qualifies for direct release, Your Honor.
We'd ask for direct pretrial release with no return, Judge.
State have any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, straight pretrial release, no return to the scene. Sarah Brown. Good morning, Ms. Brown. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Sarah Brown, 8991.
Okay, and you're before the court today charged with battery on a law enforcement officer, firefighter, or EMT. Court finds there's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public, actually, I don't have a sheet. Did you want to have a lawyer appointed for you, or did you already have the money to afford one, or what did you want to do, ma'am?
You filled out the public defender application, right? She filled out the application, Judge. She qualified.
Okay.
Your Honor, we do have it, we have a second case with her.
Oh, okay.
And it's
I'm
attached
sorry.
to that.
I've got a second one. I apologize. You're also charged, ma'am, with battery, touching, or striking. Court's got that in front of her, too, and let's see. All right, find that there's probable cause to support that one as well. That's where the PD affidavit is. I apologize for not seeing that further. So I've got that. We'll point Office of Public Defender on both cases. And does the state wish to be heard with regard to PTR?
No, Your Honor.
Madam Public Defender?
Yes, Judge. She qualifies for direct pretrial release as to both cases, or only on the bat, Leo?
For the battery,
PTR indicates she qualified for direct, but because the other case is a battery, I'm
I
not.
gotta, give me 1 second, Your Honor. I need to determine if the battery was a DV case or non-domestic.
I think they put simple on here.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. She meets criteria for both.
Okay. that's
We
what-
asked for straight pretrial. Sorry, Judge.
There's just a delay, so I apologize. We're going to keep doing this, I think, the whole time. Go ahead.
I was going to ask for straight pretrial release in this case. I believe this address is my client's residence, and I believe her sister, I don't think we've been able to confirm it with PTR, was going to be leaving, but so I'd ask for at least direct pretrial release, and we can figure out the housing part.
Okay.
Listed as non-domestic.
They
So
did
she
list it as non-domestic. So is there prior history?
So she,
Yes, Your Honor, there's a prior history for Dwellis in 14-17, possession of para, resisting without violence, excuse me, and then one case out in Illinois in 2004 for theft. She has no prior DV or domestic cases at all.
Okay, there's an allegation in one of the affidavits about drug use. It's been a little while since I've been out here. Does PTR do drug screening, or is that something I'd need to add specifically?
Yes, that's something that you would have to add as a special condition.
Okay, any objection to that?
straight pretrial release with randoms, no, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that's what the court's going to do then. Hopefully, we can address the bottom line problem. Thank you. Joellen Burney?
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Joellen Burney, December 9th, 1994.
All right, sir, it looks like that you have an outstanding warrant for failure to appear at arraignment. I didn't set that bond, so I can't do anything to reduce it. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you based on your request, and you'll be held until you can get in front of that judge, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Abel Candelaria Velasquez?
He's not present, Judge. Can we reset him
Sure.
till tomorrow?
Yep, we'll see him tomorrow. Noel DeSoto Figueroa?
waived the reading on the underlying charge, Judge.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. You're before the court today on a violation of probation. Let's see. We got 2 cases on that? Yep,
And we waive on the new law,
got it.
Judge.
Court's going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender on the new law. If you were not previously appointed a public defender or have a private counsel, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender on the VOP. So I'm going to, let's see. Sorry, paperwork's a little confusing. Is this an on view or is this warrant?
I think it's an on view based off the new law, Judge.
Okay, so there's no bond on the VOP. State wishes to be heard on bond with regard to the new charge.
We'll defer to court's judgment on that one, Your Honor.
Okay, Madam Public Defender?
And that's for a $2,000 bond, Judge.
Is that the standard bond on this? That sounds low.
For which count?
Count one.
What's the bond schedule on that?
For the VOP on you?
No, for the new law charge.
It has a 0.
Right.
So I don't know.
But you don't have the one.
What is the original amount is?
I do find PC on the on view.
I don't have the full standard bond schedule at my ready disposal, Judge.
Okay, can we pass him and maybe somebody can find that out for me?
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back to you,
Yes,
sir.
Judge. We're gonna recall you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Johnny Diaz?
Ask Pat.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and date of birth, please?
You need the interpreter?
Yes.
Do you need the interpreter? Do we have the interpreter on the line, Judge?
We actually have the interpreter right here. She has perfect timing.
Perfect.
Madam Interpreter, have you been sworn yet?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Okay. And whenever you're ready, you're welcome to join us.
He's already on PT.
Buenos días. ¿Puede escuchar la intérprete, señor? Señor, ¿usted puede escuchar la intérprete? He can hear the interpreter.
Sí.
Okay, sir, can you tell me your name and date of birth, please?
Señor, ¿me puede decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Mi nombre es Johnny Díaz, mi fecha de nacimiento es 3766.
My name is Johnny Diaz, 73066.
Okay, so Mr. Diaz, you are before the court for 2 matters.
Señor Díaz, usted está frente a la juez por 2 cuestiones.
One is that it looks like you were already out on bond and PTR on 2019 CF 2701 and 2019 CF 2627.
Pareciera que ya usted estaba bajo el programa de libertad preventiva en 2 cargos, uno 19 CF 2701 y 19 CF 2627.
I actually need to make a correction. I think the second case number is 2019 CT 2627.
Perdón, el segundo caso es 19 CT 2627.
Do you know if you have a public defender representing you on those 2 cases, sir?
Señor, ¿sabe usted si usted tiene un defensor público que le esté representando en estos 2 casos?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, court's going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender on the new charge.
Bien, la juez le va a designar el defensor público en el nuevo caso.
Court finds probable cause to...
There's 2 cases.
Yes, ma'am, there's probable cause to
Okay.
support both the driving while license suspended or revoked and false name or identification presented by the defendant.
Ok, la juez halla que hay causas que respaldan ambas acusaciones. La primera es de manejar con la licencia suspendida o revocada y de haber provisto un nombre falso a un oficial.
Court's going to set bond in the false name case in the amount of $1,000 and set bond in the no valid driver's license based on the nature of the suspension also in the amount of $1,000.
La juez le va a dar una fianza en el caso de haber provisto un nombre falso. En ese caso la fianza es de $1,000.
And
Y en
court's,
el otro caso de manejar con la licencia suspendida también son $1,000.
court's going to revoke any pretrial
Hello.
release or
Hello.
bond
Un momento.
on 2019 CF 2701 and 2019 CT 2627.
Y en los casos que usted tiene previos, 19 CF 2701 y 19 CT 2627, la juez le está revocando el programa de pretrial release, de libertad preventiva.
I set the amount of bond at none.
Pero yo no di nombre falso.
Perdón, en esos casos no tiene fianza.
¿En cuál cargo?
Which cases?
Sir, the two that you are out on release for, you no longer have a bond.
Los dos casos por los cuales usted estaba en libertad, en esos casos la juez no le está dando fianza en este momento.
You will be held without bond on those two cases.
En esos dos casos usted queda detenido sin fianza.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Ryan Demenza.
¿Y cuándo yo puedo volver al caso del nombre, que yo cambié mi nombre? Yo no cambié mi nombre.
I don't need that.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Ryan Demenza, 22877.
Okay, sir, you're before the court today charged with battery. And is that written up as a domestic violence? Let's see. Yes. All right, you've asked for a public defender, sir. The court's going to appoint one to represent you. State wish to be heard regarding bond and conditions.
We'll defer in regards to bond. As to conditions, we ask that no contact with the victim and no possession of weapons or firearms.
Okay. Madam Public Defender?
Yes, Judge, we asked for a $750 bond as to this case. The no contact is fine.
Okay, victim's not present, correct?
No, but the victim did advise that she wants no contact. She's in fear of the defendant. She's also a prior victim in the last year assault case he had in Tennessee, and he had 5 priors of domestic violence.
5?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
Out of the state of Illinois.
Okay, can you tell me out of the 5, how many are convictions, withholds, or dropped? And whether the victims are the
One.
same?
Because it was out of state for Illinois, we were unable to find out exactly who the victim was. The victim in this case was the victim in the Tennessee case because she advised that the October 2018 assault was on her and she was the victim. The 2002 domestic battery case was Nola Prosk. He had a domestic battery, bodily harm, domestic battery, physical injury, and assault, but the disposition to those offenses were unknown.
Okay. Pursuant to Florida Statute 903.046, the court has certain criteria that it's to consider in determining bond or bail conditions. Let me ask one more question before I go through some statutory criteria instead of bond. PTR know where, how long the parties have been living at the address listed in the affidavit?
No, ma'am. It was confirmed by the victim and the defendant whom standing before you that he resides in Chicago. He resides in Chicago. He travels. His permanent address is an Illinois address. And he has temporary housing currently in Florida.
All right, so the court's going to consider the nature and circumstances of the offense charged with this, which is a misdemeanor, but it is also a crime where injury to the victim has been alleged. The court's also going to consider the length of residence in the community, which he does not live in this community, his past and present conduct, which includes any records of convictions. Are there any failures to appear?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And the fact that the court also has to consider the nature and probability of danger in which the defendant's release poses to the community. While the defendant is not currently allegedly on any kind of conditions of release, the court is concerned about the nature and possibility of intimidation or danger to the victim. And the court finds relevant that there are at least 5 prior incidences of domestic violence. As such, the court sets bond in the amount of $10,000. There's to be no contact between the defendant and the victim, no weapons, firearms, ammunition to be held during the pendency of this case. If the defendant has any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, they're to be surrendered to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of his release. If he cannot post bond, he's welcome to talk to his public defender and set a bond hearing in front of the judge who will be handling it, who I believe is Judge Bell. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And he's not bond with PTR, is he just
No, it's
bond?
just straight bond, Judge, correct?
Straight bond and no contact.
And
Yes.
Your Honor, how much was that bond again?
$10,000.
Thank you.
Brian Gregus?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your full legal name and your date of birth, please?
Brian Gregus, 6/27/1970.
All right. Sir, you're before me charged with battery. And this also looks like domestic violence. Court finds probable cause to support that charge. Did you want a lawyer appointed to represent you, sir, or are you waiving that?
I'm going to have to wait till the weekend, and I'll take care of it at the beginning of the week.
Yes, bond with PTR.
So you do not want a public defender to represent you, is that correct? You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, I guess, because I don't think I'll meet the,
Okay.
And Your
Well,
Honor, he qualifies for bond with PTR,
okay, well, I'd
and the
like...
victim is requesting no contact.
Okay. What does pretrial release show as his prior history, please?
His prior history is out of Pennsylvania. He has none in the state of Florida. He has terroristic threats, simple assault, and harassment. All 3 offenses was nolle prossed.
Okay. He qualifies for bond and PTR?
Yes, ma'am, it has to be a bond with PTR because it's a dangerous crime and domestic offense.
Okay. State wish to be heard?
We just request that there be no contact with the victim and no weapons or firearms.
Okay, court sets bond at $1,000. No contact with the victim, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition to be surrendered to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of release.
I don't know any.
Thank you. Adrian Jackson? All right, good morning, Mr. Jackson. So let's see. This is the companion case to Ms. Bell's case from earlier. So you've requested a public defender. I'm going to grant that request, appoint a public defender to represent you. You're before the court today charged with battery, domestic violence. Court finds probable cause for that. You're also before the court today because you're out on bond for 2019 CF 1437, which is fraudulent use of personal identification, fraudulent use of a credit card more than 2 times in 6 months, and unlawful possession of a stolen credit or debit card. So I guess I'll start with the state. State wish to be heard?
As to the battery, we ask that no contact with the victim and no weapons or firearms.
Okay. Madam Public Defender, you had indicated that it looked like the victim wanted contact with, this was the case where both victims wanted contact with each other, is that right?
Yes, Judge. You ordered $500 bond with PTR, no hostile, and no weapons. I'd ask for the same release conditions as to Mr. Jackson, aside from the case that he was out on bond on.
Okay, are you?
Your Honor, he doesn't qualify for PTR
Okay.
because he's out on bond already. He has a legal constraint.
Right.
As you're aware, the victim's requesting contact, but he doesn't qualify for PTR at this time.
Okay. Does the Public Defender's Office represent you, sir, on your case that you're out on bond on, or do you know?
No, ma'am. I had no public defender representing me on that case. I have to hire a private attorney.
Well, I've appointed a public defender on your new case. Would you like a public defender to represent you on the old one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Public defender is appointed to 19 CF 1437 unless previously appointed. Public defender, do you wish to be heard as to the court revoking bond on the old case?
I don't have any of that information, Judge, so if it's showing that he was out on bond, I'll leave it to the court's discretion.
Okay, court's going to revoke bond on 19 CF 1437. You'll need to contact your public defender on that one, sir. And as to the new charge, court's going to set bond at $1,000. No hostile contact, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition need to be turned into the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of release. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Camilla Marag.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Kamala Mirage, January 3rd, 1979.
Okay. So I have an arrest warrant, and I also have a face sheet for resisting arrest without violence. So as to the resisting arrest without violence, the court finds that there is probable cause to support that. Did you want the assistance of an attorney, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll get to the next
I
one in
want
a second.
She said, well, I want to hire, yeah, I want to.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, I do want a public defender.
Okay, so I'm going to appoint a public defender on the new charge of resisting arrest without violence. Let me take a look at your warrant and see what that is. It's an arrest warrant for grand theft. Probable cause has already been found on that warrant. And let's see, is there a bond on that? Looks like $1,000. So bond will be stayed at $1,000. Public defender appointed on that one as well. Thank you.
What's going on? I don't know what she said.
You can have a seat. Your bonds are stayed.
On the resisting, I stayed bond at $500. Appointed the PD on the, bonds are stayed, PD appointed. Thank you. All right, Hansel Luis Rodriguez Negron.
He'll also need the interpreter, Judge.
Okay. I think she's here? Yes. Good morning, sir.
Buenos días, señor.
Can you tell me your name and date of birth, please?
¿Me puede decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Hansel Rodríguez Negrón, 26 de marzo de 1981.
Hansel Rodriguez Negron, 326-81.
All right, sir, you're before the court today on a warrant.
Señor, usted está frente a la juez en una orden de detención.
Appears to be out of Polk County.
Aparentemente es del condado de Polk.
Sí.
Yes.
And it doesn't look like there's a bond on that.
Y parece que no tiene fianza en ese caso.
So
Y quedó.
Polk should be here to get you within 24 hours.
El condado de Polk debe de venir a recogerle en las próximas 24 horas.
If they don't, we'll have you brought up in 48 hours, okay?
Si no le recogen en 24, nosotros le volvemos a ver aquí en 48 horas. ¿Bien?
Ok.
Ok.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Is there, I have a note of a new law as well, Judge, but I don't know if that goes to the warrant because I don't have the report on it.
Yeah.
Is there a new law, Willis, or was that?
I don't have that.
I don't have the report on either.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's fine then.
we may be seeing him tomorrow.
A lo mejor le vemos
Okay.
mañana, no sabemos.
All right, Robert Strang.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're before the court today on an out-of-county warrant as well. Let's take a look and see what that is. It's out of Orange County, and it's for a felony battery and has no bond. So Orange County should be here to get you within 24 hours. If you're still here after 48 hours, we'll bring you back before a judge in Osceola, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bobby Wiggins.
The judge is calling the case.
All right, good morning, Mr. Wiggins. Can you tell me your name and date of birth, please?
Say your name, date of birth.
Your Honor, I'm not trying to disrespect the court or anything like that there, but I got evidence in my hand right now that I never should have been issued a warrant because I was in surgery.
She's asking for your name and your
I
date of
know
birth.
what she's asking for, but she already, ma'am, I'm just trying to be respectful to the court.
Well, I appreciate that,
The
sir, and I'm going to be
public-
respectful to you too, but there's not anything I can do about your warrants. They were issued by another judge.
That's what I was saying, so all I want to ask you is could you set me the soonest date you can before the judge that issued the warrant?
We sure will.
Because thank you, ma'am. My name is Bobby Wiggins.
Okay, Mr. Wiggins, and is your date of birth 9/26/54?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Wiggins, you have $2,000 bond on the first one I have here, which is 19 CT 3154. As to 19 CT 3153, your bond is also $2,000. And as to 19 CT 3155, once again, your bond is $2,000. So we're going to get you a date set. You've asked for a public defender. I'm happy to do that as well. And perhaps your public defender can help you get in front of a judge as well. Okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you. That base sheet says $29.99, but the warrants attached say $2,000. If you go to the second page, it says 2,000. So I think somebody entered it in incorrectly. That one's 2,000 as well. Yeah, so we'll fix that. So they're all 2,000, there's no 29.99s. All right, Nathan Burgos? Good morning, Mr. Burgos. Okay, is your date of birth 5/18/97, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're here also on a failure to appear, and just like the last gentleman, I can't change that bond for you. So it's a no bond in 2019 CF 1485. You didn't check the request for public defender. Would you like to have one represent you, or do you already have private counsel?
Yes, I would like the public defender.
Okay, is there a reason, did he qualify, or is there an explanation why his sheet's blank?
He shows that he qualifies, Judge, from the clerk sheet.
Okay, great. Then we're going to go ahead and appoint a lawyer to represent him, and the bond stays at none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nicole Parker.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Nicole Parker, 73088.
All right, ma'am, you're before the court on an out-of-county warrant as well. It looks like this one's from Orange County, and it's in 2019 CF 10091. Another judge has set your bond at none. I can't modify that in any way. Did you want to have, well, I guess it's Orange County, so you'll be transported to Orange probably within 24 hours. If you're still here.
I did have a $300.
If you're still here after 48.
I did have a $300 bond.
Yeah, I don't see that on here. I see nothing. So I'm happy to hear from the Public Defender's Office if they see something different, but I don't see a bond. I think
I
you're
only
gonna
have the
have,
cover sheet. This shows none as well, Judge.
yeah, I think you're gonna
Because
have
I was
to,
out on bond in Orange, I was out on bond in Orange County when I received, these new charges for Osceola County.
No, this is the
And-
Orange County warrant, though. This
I
is an
know.
Osceola County
And these
warrant.
charges in Osceola County just got dropped,
But this is the Orange County warrant,
right, for the grand theft, that I was already out on bond.
which is why you probably have a zero bond.
And there's no way that I can get that $3
Unless
million
you-
bond back.
When you go back to Orange County, you can see about that.
yeah,
Okay.
the best I can do for you, ma'am, is that you should be transported within 24 hours. If for some reason Orange doesn't come pick you up, and you're still here at 48 hours, we'll bring you back. And as soon as you get to Orange, the judge should see you and hopefully sort this out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, State of Florida versus Jorge Vincent Aquado Jr.
Can we reset him, Judge?
Yeah, we're going to reset him for Monday, though, because this is a second reset.
That's fine.
And he has 2 cases, I think.
Yes, Judge.
Did he refuse again this morning?
I don't know if they just didn't bring him up or if he actually refused. I only had a note of 2 refusals and he wasn't one of them. So
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, then we'll just set him for Monday, and hopefully whatever's going on will be better then. All right, State versus Joel Ahmed Garcia Vizacarando. Sorry, I probably butchered
He's
that
still
name.
in the hospital.
All right,
He's still in the hospital.
do you want me to set him for a specific date, or do you want me to just say that he'll be reset once he's released?
That's fine, Judge. I guess we can, Garcia Vizacardo. We can probably status it for Monday, Judge, maybe?
Okay.
Just so it doesn't slip through the cracks.
Sounds good.
So
All
reset to
right,
Monday.
State versus Dylan Arthur Griffin.
He
That-
refused.
Okay, is this his first refusal or is the second?
I think he was set for yesterday and was reset till today, so, Griffin? I don't know if yesterday was a
This would be
refusal.
his second, this would be his second reset.
Was yesterday a refusal, do you know?
He was seen Wednesday, Judge, he refused. He was seen Thursday, and he refused.
So it appears it might be a
This would be
third.
his third reset.
Okay, at this point, does it make sense to appoint the Office of Public Defender and not reset him, but have him go ahead and have the bond stayed and have him set
If
for
the
arraignment?
court, if the court is okay with that, I'm fine with that, Judge. I
Yeah.
can waive his appearance.
I think that's the best idea. So the court will stay the bonds, $3,500 in count 1, $5,000 in count 2, $250 in count 3, appoint the Office of the Public Defender, and initial appearances have been waived, so he can just get put on the next arraignment calendar. Thank you for your cooperation on that.
You're welcome. I think the same thing for Mr. Piper, Judge.
Okay, so with Mr. Piper, the court's going to stay the bond, count 1, 500, count 2, 2,500, count 3, 500. Appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him, and you waive his appearance on that as well?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, court also finds probable cause for both, just for the record. We have Anthony Suarez Diaz. We've got a few cases on that. Is he there today?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and we have an interpreter, so maybe we can get some progress on that. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Nos puede decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Iron Man, Tony Stark's Marvel Planet.
Okay, I don't think we need an interpreter. Madam Public Defender, are you willing to represent him?
Yes, Judge, our office represents him on other cases. He does have mental health and comp concerns.
Right, I imagine
He was
that.
previously fined, he was previously found incompetent. However, on July 3rd this year, he was found competent to proceed.
Okay, so if the last finding was of competency, then the court's going to just stay the bonds and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him, unless the state has any other things that you want to do.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds like you're happy about that, sir. Have a good day. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am, PC on all. Okay, next is Georgie Torres Cruz.
I don't know if this is a refusal or just a reset, Judge. One note said detox, so I'm not sure if he's still
Yeah.
detoxing.
Your Honor, he refused on Wednesday.
Okay, well, if it's one
And then yesterday's
refusal,
note says detox.
yeah. Do you want me to reset them one more time?
Is it just a warrant? I can waive his appearance, Judge.
Okay, so.
Because he don't qualify for PTR.
I'm certainly not going to do that without his presence. So let's go ahead and stay the bonds, find probable cause, and appoint the Office of Public Defender as to 19 CF 3697. And that brings us, I think, to the last one, which is John Edward Vale. Is he
He's
still in the hospital?
Judge.
Okay, so
Yes.
do you want a status on Monday on that one as well?
That's fine, Judge, yes.
Okay, great. Then we'll go ahead and do that. Are there any other matters before the court? Oh, that's right. We needed to go back to Mr. DeSoto Figueroa. We waived his appearance. Oh, wait, that's the. Yeah, he waived and bond stay, public defender appointed. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Must be set by judge after first appearance.
So what I wanted to know was what we had as far as a criminal history, so that on the non-revoked case, the court could appropriately set a bond.
I looked at the bond schedule, Your Honor, and the charge is not one of the ones that is listed on the bond schedule.
Okay, so it's a
It
charge.
just says must be set.
Okay. All right, then the court needs to have information to be able to do that pursuant to statute 903.046. So are we prepared to do that now, or do you want to continue him to tomorrow, since we already have him held at no bond on the 17 CF case?
No, Your Honor, we're prepared to give history, ma'am.
Okay, then let me hear from the state first. State's position on bond.
State will just defer to the court's judgment on this one, Your Honor.
Okay. Public defender?
I think I had asked for 1,000, Judge. I don't have my note. I don't recall what I asked for, but then we were asking about the standard bond schedule, so we kind of deferred for that. So I'd asked for $1,000, $1,500 bond. I don't remember if the court has a note of what I've asked for, I'll ask for that again. So I'm not changing the number, but I didn't write it down.
I believe you asked for 2,000.
You asked for 2 last time.
Okay.
Okay. Good effort on that.
I'll stick with 2 then, Judge.
Okay, the court doesn't agree based on the nature of the charge. I can go through the statutory criteria if you'd like, but the court's going to set bond at $10,000. If you'd like more of an explanation, I'm happy to give you one. Otherwise, that's the bond.
That's fine, Judge. We can always set it for a bond hearing if necessary.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so $10,000, and the 2017 CF case was no bonded. Bond was revoked on that. Public defender on both,
Correct.
probable cause on the new charge. And with that, is there anything else pending before the court?
Did we miss anybody? No.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, we're done, Judge. Judge, one question for tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you started a little bit early today, so I want to make sure we're ready tomorrow if the court's intention is to start early, just so we don't have this
Sure.
issue tomorrow as
The
best
court
as
would,
possible.
the court would like to start early if that's acceptable to everybody over there.
Okay, do you have an idea of time or just kind of,
How about 10?
so we can make sure that we tell the COs?
Sure. Is 10:30 workable?
Yes.
Great. Then I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30.
Thank you, Judge.
You have a great day.
You too.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get on the record. This is initial appearances on Saturday, October 26th. If I could have appearances, please. Yep.
Katrina Mosiski for the state.
Courtney Daly with the Public Defender's Office.
Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter.
Judge, can we skip the first Spanish? The officers got stuck in the elevator and it's a victim form.
Yes, we can. So we're going to start with Fidelia Altar Garcia Reyes. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and date of birth, please?
Fidelia Reyes, 42355.
All right, ma'am, you've been charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and trespass on property after warning. The court finds that there is probable cause to support both of those charges. Did you wish to have a public defender appointed to represent you?
I just don't know. I went there night before last.
Ma'am, hang on. Stop. I don't want you to talk about the case itself because that could compromise your rights. Not only are you on the record, but this is being broadcast out over the internet. And anybody from across the country can hear you right now. My only question is whether you'd like to have a lawyer help you with this case.
I don't have money to pay for an attorney.
You have the right to a public defender who would represent you for, there is a small fee, but it's not like hiring a lawyer. Would you like to have an attorney assist you this morning? We have a very nice lawyer standing right next to you.
My income is $520 for alimony.
You're going to qualify for the assistance of a public defender. Madam Public Defender is an officer of the court. Would you be willing to speak with her for a moment?
Yes.
Great. Court will take you off the record.
Yo sé lo que pasó. Ya ella leyó, sí, ya ella leyó el reporte. ¿Okay? Pero eso no vamos a hablar de lo que pasó aquí. Solamente queremos saber si usted quiere un abogado para que la defienda o no. Señor, no te sé específicamente. Va a ser un abogado que le va a defender aquí. Yeah. They might file charges, they might not. No, it's a $50 application. Don't worry about that today. That's not. Okay, we'll take care of that later. But do you want the public defender?
Okay, I'm going to intervene at this point.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm leaving your bonds at $1,500 and $100. If you cannot afford to bond out on $1,600, I would suggest you allow the public defender's office to represent you. Would you like them to represent you, or would you like me to just set a bond?
Where is that public defender?
They'll come see you here if I let.
At what time?
I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. I'm going to set bond at $1,500 and $100 on counts 1 and 2, finding probable cause, no return to target. Thank you. Next, please. Are we ready to take the first one out of order? Who do we have next? Who do we have here, please? Reyes. So that's the first one? Okay. All right. We have Yesenia Reyes. And Ms. Reyes, can you tell me your date of birth, please?
5/25/76.
All right. Sir, can you tell me your name, please, for the record?
Señor, su nombre para las actas.
Garibaldi Reyes.
Garibaldi Reyes.
Okay, I need to swear Mr. Reyes in, so
Señor Reyes, levante su mano derecha.
raise
para
your right
prestar
hand, sir.
juramento.
Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a presentar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad ante Dios?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, are you the alleged victim in this case?
Señor, ¿es usted la alegada víctima en este caso?
No, yo no soy víctima.
I'm not a victim.
Okay. Are you the person listed in the paperwork that may or may not be the victim, sir?
¿Es usted la persona que ha sido mencionada en
Sí.
los papeles como que puede o no ser la víctima?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. You've come here this morning. What is it that you would like the court to know about the case?
Usted ha llegado hasta aquí en esta mañana. ¿Qué es lo que usted quiere informarle a la juez en cuanto a este caso?
Que nada de lo que pusieron en el papel, nada es cierto.
Nothing, none of the things that they put on the papers are true.
Are you afraid of the defendant?
¿Usted le tiene miedo a la acusada?
No, imposible.
No, impossible.
Okay. Would you like to have contact with the defendant?
¿Usted quiere tener contacto con la acusada?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
Does she reside with you?
¿Ella vive con usted?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. State, do you have any inquiries?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay.
La fiscal no
Would
tiene
you-
preguntas.
Ma'am, would you like me to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you?
Señora, ¿usted quiere que yo le designe la oficina de defensores públicos para que les represente?
¿Tengo un intérprete?
I have an interpreter, that would be you.
Do you want a lawyer?
¿Quiere un abogado?
Yo creo que yo no necesito abogado.
¿Que no necesita?
Yo no sé.
I don't know. I don't think I need an attorney. I do not know.
Es mi primera vez que yo estoy aquí en la corte, yo no tengo problema. Tengo 28 años de casada con mi esposo y nunca he tenido problemas. Y por lo que me están poniendo aquí, lo que pasa es que yo no sé inglés.
Ma'am, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you're starting to talk about the facts in this case, you're being broadcast all over the internet, and anything you say can be used against you. The only question I have is whether you would like the assistance of a lawyer to help you.
Quiere que un abogado le asista.
No.
No?
Okay. Then the court's going to set bond in the amount of $1,000.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Was that a yes? Okay. Would you like a moment to talk to your client?
May I inquire? One.
You absolutely may.
Would you like Miss Reyes to be able to come live with you?
Que la señora Reyes venga a vivir con usted.
No,
Si usted quiere que la señora Reyes venga a vivir a la casa con usted.
claro que sí.
Of course, yes.
Your Honor, given the alleged victim's testimony, I would be asking for no hostile contact and that they be able to live in the same residence. Additionally, I'd like to point out that Ms. Reyes does not have any criminal history and qualifies for pretrial release.
Señora Reyes no tiene antecedentes
She
penales y es
doesn't,
elegible.
well, am I looking at the right sheet? Because I have that she does not qualify for pretrial release. was looking at the wrong sheet, and you are correct. So court's going to have no hostile contact and allow straight pretrial release. And the Office of the Public Defender has been appointed. Oh, no weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. If there are any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, they need to be surrendered to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of release. Okay. Thank you for your appearance today, sir.
God bless you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your appearance today. Are we ready for the sign language interpreter case?
Your Honor, we'll just do one more before that, so we can get him out of here, he can change.
Sure.
Mr. Tyler, and then we'll bring in the sign interpreter. So, this is the first move of the pod.
Not the,
First move up.
not the, immigration act.
This is, yeah, I think this is the one about the immigration.
This is Gomez Ortiz.
Got it. Okay. Good morning, sir. Are you Juan Manuel Gomez Ortiz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are, it's just the detainer? Okay. Sir, you just need to be advised that you have an immigration detainer, and I think that was not advised to you previously, so we're letting you know that now. Is there anything else that the court needed to do with this? Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it's all over the place. All right.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Is this?
How you doing?
Was this,
Farmer,
Farmer?
and then Alfred.
Got it. All right. Are you Tyler Aaron Farmer?
I wanted to end up saying that I'm under a case of sin. I studied all the sin for the past 7 years, and I figured out what it was, my name in the system.
Hang on, sir. So this is a move up? Okay. All right. Sir, you're before the court today on a failure to appear.
When was my court case?
And that's on a capias for disorderly intoxication. Sir, it looks like you were supposed to be at arraignment on 10/10 of 19. The judge in that case then issued a capias, which is in the amount of $1,000. I'm not allowed to change that. So did you have a lawyer representing you originally?
No, I was always representing myself.
Okay. Would you like to continue to do that, or would you like a public defender to help you?
I'll take a public defender.
All right, court's going to find that you qualify for the Office of the Public Defender, appoint one to represent you, and, all right, so there's also an ROR from 5/18 of 2019. Let's see. So the failure to appear looks like it occurred after that.
Your Honor, I would argue that you should take no action because he didn't commit a new law offense while out on pretrial release, and he didn't violate the pretrial release conditions of that case. He violated the pretrial release conditions of this case that he says failure to appear for.
Yeah, I forgot
So I'd
about
ask you
my
to take no
court date.
action.
Okay. State,
I'll defer to your judgment on this one, Your Honor.
court will take no action on the other.
When do I get released?
That is your bond.
What if I can't pay a bond?
I'll tell you the attorney.
I don't have any money yet. The government didn't pay my bills.
We'll get you to your attorney, sir. Good luck to you. All right, sign language case? All right, then we'll be back in order. Good morning. You have not been sworn yet today, is that correct? Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that you'll translate truthfully from American Sign Language to English and English to American Sign Language to the best of your ability?
I do.
All right.
Julie Velasquez, nationally certified interpreter.
Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
It's Wallace Afford.
And what's your date of birth?
August 9th, 1969.
Okay. Good morning, sir. You're before the court today charged with robbery, petty theft, and battery. The court finds that there is probable cause to support the charges.
No.
You have, well, sir, we don't want to talk about the facts in your case right now because we are being recorded and anything you say could compromise your constitutional right to remain silent, okay? So our decision today has to do with whether you would like to have a public defender assist you with your case. Would you like me to appoint their office to represent you?
Yes.
Okay, court's going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I'm going to leave the bonds stayed as they are. And if you cannot afford to post your bond, you can contact your lawyer,
What was
okay?
this bond amount, Your Honor?
$5,000 for count 1, 100 for count 2, 100 for count 3.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. Have a great day. Good morning, sir. Are you James Edward Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're before the court today charged with battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and tampering with a witness to hinder communication to a law enforcement officer. Do you understand your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Court is going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender based on the paperwork that you filed. The court finds that you qualify. And ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Angela Michelle Thornton.
All right, and let's swear you in. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you the alleged victim in this case?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you've come down here to talk to the court. How can I assist you today? What is it you'd like me to know?
He's just a very dangerous man. I fear him. And right now I'm even nervous, you know.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming in, and so you would want the court to initiate a no contact as part of any condition for release?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, do the two of you live together?
Until yesterday.
Okay, is there a lease or do you own the home? What's the title of the home?
No, he rents it.
Okay, so it's his residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Is he the only one on the lease?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have another place to go?
Yes, I do.
All right, have you already taken care of moving your things out of that?
I did that
location?
yesterday.
Okay, so there's no reason that you'd need to come back to that apartment?
At all.
Great, all right. Do you have any children together with him?
Absolutely not.
Okay, is there any reason why you'd have to have contact with him?
No, not at all.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add as far as what conditions of release you would like the court to do?
Well, for me, I would like to really see him do some jail time, but I know it's up to the courts. So,
Okay. State, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor. We just ask that there's no contact and no possession of weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Okay. Do you wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I've appointed the Office of Public Defender to represent you, sir. Counsel, do you have anything to add or anything to request?
Your Honor, we just ask that you set a reasonable bond, given that this is not a punishable life or capital offense.
Okay. It would appear that there are Florida convictions for criminal mischief and battery. The last Florida conviction was for battery on 4/2018. Ma'am, have you been the victim prior to this case?
all of them.
Prior arrests are aggravated battery, battery domestic violence 4 times, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, assault, petty theft, resisting without violence twice, battery on a firefighter, criminal mischief. Out of state, we have 3 DUIs, 3 Dwillises. Would reflect here that he's a habitual felony offender. Court's going to consider the criteria in statute 903.046, purpose of and criteria for bail determination. When determining whether to release a defendant on bond or other conditions, the court has to consider the nature and circumstance of the offense charged, the weight of the evidence, the defendant's family ties, and length of residence in the community. Do you have any information on the length of time that your client has been in this community?
No, Your Honor, but generally, in initial appearance, he's just entitled to a bond, and we get into that stuff at a bond motion. I've never gone through all
Understood.
this, yeah.
Well, when somebody has the history that he does, I'm creating a record because the bond is probably going to be higher than you expect.
I'm sure.
So I can set the bond, and basically then if you have any questions, I'm happy to go into the statutory criteria. Would that be a better way to do it?
Let me get some information from him, and then I'll let you.
Yes. Sure. Thank you. Madam State Attorney, if you can spell your name for the court reporter, please.
Yes, Your Honor, it's Moskiski.
Thank you.
Just for the record, Your Honor, Mr. Williams has been living in Orlando for the last 20 to 30 years, is what he told me, and he has a job at the American Cemetery, and he's been there 19 years.
Okay.
As for ties to the community.
All right, thank you for that. The court's going to set bond the amount of $10,000. There's no contact with the victim, $10,000 as to count one, battery by strangulation, and $150 on tampering with the witness to hinder communication. If you cannot afford that bond, sir, you're welcome to contact your public defender. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. I'm not done. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition are to be surrendered to the Orange County Sheriff's Department within 24 hours of your release. You signed a no-contact form for me. Do you fully understand what that form means?
Yes, I do, but she don't.
Okay, well, the question is whether you do. That's what the court's concerned with. And with the history that you have, the court wants to make very sure that you understand that you are not to have contact with her. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're free to go. Gregory Coffey?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're before the court today charged with battery, domestic violence. You have requested the appointment of a public defender. The court's going to appoint a public defender to represent you. The court does also find probable cause to support the charge. Give me just a moment. Court's going to set bond in this case in the amount of $2,000. There's to be no contact with the victim. If you're going to be signing that form, if you read that and make sure you understand what no contact means. So things like cards and flowers and emails that might seem like good things are not good things. You're not allowed to do those things. If you have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, you're to surrender those to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release. You can't have any of those things. Do you understand that? Okay. If you cannot afford your bond, you can contact your public defender. And unless there are any questions, that's all the court has. Okay. Thank you, sir. Daniel Torres. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Daniel Torres, the birth is January 16, 1970.
All right, sir, you're before the court charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and battery. Give me just one moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You've asked for the office of the public defender. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay, looks like Mr. Torres is out on bond for possession of cocaine, possession of oxycodone, and resisting an officer without violence. The court is going to revoke that bond, hold him on a no bond with that. As to the aggravated assault with a firearm and the battery, the court would set bond in count 1 based on the history in the amount of $5,000. Count 2 will be 100. No contact with the victim. No weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, you're to surrender them to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release. Do you already have a public defender on your first case, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to appoint one for you on that because I've revoked your bond. So you can contact your attorney how to get a bond hearing. Thank you. All right, Victor Vandis Colbert.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You're before the court today. Let's see what this is.
Your Honor, this was a reset from yesterday. No probable cause was found on count 5, the dealing in stolen property, and this is the 24-hour reset.
Okay, does the state have any additional information to provide?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, then the court's going to do an RORS to count 5, and everything else remains the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, they didn't add anything, so there is no PC. So that counts ROR, and everything else remains. All right, are you Donald Brondell Francis?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Francis. You're before the court today, it looks like on a violation of probation. So the warrant that's been issued indicates that you were on probation for battery, domestic violence, and the allegation, sir, is that you have violated a special condition, which was a failure to report. Bond has been set on that at none, so I can't change that. We're going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you, so you have counsel, and you'll be given a court date to see the BOP judge, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Selena Duffus Alexander, date of birth 08/16/1982.
All right, ma'am, and you are before the court today charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Court does find probable cause to support that charge, and I'm going to grant your request for a public defender and appoint them to represent you. All right, I need some information on living arrangements.
Let me, real quick. Your Honor, my client has advised me that it is her apartment or house, and she is the only one on the lease. So I would just ask for a maintained separate residence rather than a do not return.
State which be heard?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, court's going to set, there's no real criminal history, so the court's going to set bond at 1,000. No contact with the alleged victim. And ma'am, you've signed the no contact form. Did you read that? And you understand that no contact means like no contact, even indirect, or no emails, no flowers, no cards, nothing, okay? I am going to require a separate residence, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition that you have in your possession need to be turned over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release. I don't think there's any other conditions that I need to put in, so I worded it specifically as you requested. We'll get through some more of these as we go. Good morning, sir. Are you Willie Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're before the court today charged with aggravated assault, domestic violence. The court grants your request for a public defender. I'm appointing them to represent you at this time. And all right, we've got quite the history here. Give me just a moment, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, based on the nature of the charge and the extensive criminal history, court sets bond at $10,000, no contact with victim, public defender appointed. Rafael Sanchez. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Rafael Sanchez, September 1st, 1962.
All right, sir, you're before the court today charged with aggravated stalking after an injunction, violation of domestic violence injunction, and battery. I have a warrant for you. Give me just a minute to review that. I believe you've asked for a public defender, so I'm going to grant that request, so you have a lawyer representing you. Okay, court's reviewed the warrant, the basis for the violations, and the 3 prior aggravated stalking cases, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, and burglary of an occupied conveyance. Court appoints the public defender, sets bond in count 1 in the amount of $25,000, bond in count 2 at $150,000, bond in count 3 at $150,000. Public defender appointed. Can't afford to bond out, contact your lawyer. $25,000. No contact with the victim. No return to the scene. Yep, and no weapons. All the conditions on the warrant still remain as well. Okay. Your name, please, ma'am?
Tremai Taylor,
And your date of birth, please?
December 12, 1995.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're before the court today charged with aggravated battery with a weapon. The court does find probable cause to support that charge. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Give me just a moment. All right, Madam Public Defender, I need some information on residency, on
what?
home, on living conditions.
Yes. Your Honor, that house does not belong to neither the alleged victim nor the Miss Taylor, and she said that she can stay with a friend. So I would just ask for a maintained separate residence unless her mom is the alleged victim, but I didn't think she was, or is she? I retract that statement. The mom is the alleged victim. I didn't realize that, but she can stay with a friend, so.
Okay, so the court's going to, there's no prior criminal history. State wish to be heard on this?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Court's going to set bond at $1,000. There is one return with law enforcement to get any things that you have at that location. If you have anything there, that's Okay, you don't have anything there? Then we won't make that a condition. So you're not to return, and you must maintain a separate residence. As I said, you're not permitted to go back to where this occurred. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim in the case. You're not to have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition need to be surrendered to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release. Do you understand your conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've read the no contact form? You understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, I also have a failure to appear.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, all right, failure to appear has been set at 2,500. That's on operating a motor vehicle without valid DL. Court can't change that. So did you have a lawyer representing you on that case originally? Do you know?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, is that here in Orange County? It is. So court's going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent her. Do you need that case number?
I have it.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
All right, thank you.
You can bond out.
1,000, no return.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay, misdemeanor domestic violence. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Kimberly Goodale, May 11th, 1961.
Okay. Ma'am, you're before the court today charged with battery domestic violence. The court does find that there is probable cause to support that. You've asked for a public defender. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Do you wish to be heard?
No, I just was preempting the
The question that's coming, yes. Do you have information on that for me?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Gooddale is the person who owns the place. She's on the lease with her boyfriend. The alleged victim is her daughter, and according to her, her daughter's already left. So I would just ask for a maintain separate residence rather than a do not return.
Okay. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. There is some history. There's some old history. And it looks like there's also an unserved injunction pending with a different victim. So, court's going to set bond at $2,500. No contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition need to be surrendered to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours. I need to take back the public defender appointment. She doesn't qualify.
Okay.
So I appreciate your assistance today, but I can't appoint your office to represent her.
Understood.
So, ma'am, if you can't bond out, you need to get an attorney, have your family help you, but you're not allowed to make any contact with the victim. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you read the form that you signed?
Yes, ma'am.
So you fully understand what no contact means, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was there anything else that I missed on? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Your Honor, my name is Jonathan Muzinski. I was born June 22nd, 1986.
All right, sir, you've asked for a public defender. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And
Thank
give me
you.
just a second to look over your paperwork, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does he qualify for PTR? right, can you provide me some information on,
Residents?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, they're both on the lease, but Mr. Wazinski has another place that he can reside at. He provided the alternative address to PTR according to the face sheet.
Yeah, according to the face sheet, he qualifies for PTR. I have no prior history, no domestic history especially.
Yes.
So, Mr. Muzinski, you've signed the no contact form already, or has she handed that to you yet?
Yes, Your Honor, I have signed.
Already got it. So, did you understand this form, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you understand that you can't write, telephone, page, text, email, none of those things, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can't have contact with her in any way. I am going to release you to PTR and not require you to post a monetary bond based on your lack of history. I am, however, going to put drug and alcohol screening requirements. Is that worded correctly? Random UA, what can I do with alcohol, though? Is that the same? Okay, so no drugs, no alcohol? No contact, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Any weapons, firearms, or ammunition need to be surrendered within 24 hours of release. Did you have a question?
Yes, he wants a one-time return to get his items.
Absolutely. Happy to do that with law enforcement. And in case you didn't hear, I am putting conditions of no drugs or alcohol on your pretrial release, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Ortega, and my date of birth is 2/4/85.
Okay. And you've asked for a public defender, so I'm going to appoint one to represent you. And I'm going to turn to you, sir. Good morning, or I guess we're in the afternoon now. Can you tell me your name, please?
Lino Santiago.
All right, and can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, sir, are you the alleged victim in this case?
Yes.
All right, and you've come in this morning to talk to the court, so I'll let you be heard. What do you want me to know?
I don't want to present, I don't want to go forward with the charge. I just want her just leave from here and we figure out our life like everyone by their side and that's it. I don't want contact, but I mean, I'm not going to proceed with the charge.
Okay, so you don't want contact.
Everyone by their side is going to be better for both of us and for her child.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple questions, all right? Do you all live in the same residence?
Yes, we do.
And who's on the lease?
Both of us are on the lease. I pay for the lease.
Okay, so is it your desire to remain in the apartment and have her leave, or do you want to leave and have her remain in the apartment?
I'm by myself in Orlando. Her mom is living here in Orlando.
Okay, so your request would be that you get to stay in the apartment and she have to move. Do you have any children together?
No, we don't have children together.
Okay, is there any reason why you'd have to continue to have contact with each other?
No, no
Okay.
reason.
So, and just to let you know, I appreciate that you don't want the case to move forward. That's not something we do today. That's something you can get in touch with the state attorney's office about. But what you said is helpful to me in setting bond and conditions, okay?
Say it again, please.
All right, so I can't dismiss the charge today. That's not within my ability to do that.
Okay.
You're welcome to contact the state attorney's office and talk to them about that process.
Got it.
But I appreciate you coming in because your information is helpful to me in setting conditions of release or setting a bond. So thank you. Do you have any questions?
Not for him.
Okay. What would you like me to know?
Your Honor, I just wanted to note for the record that Ms. Ortega has children who reside with her at that apartment, so I just wanted I wanted that to be taken into consideration.
Okay.
And she qualifies for straight pretrial release and has no criminal history.
Does she have another place to go?
Judge, according to the pre-trial interview, she provided her mother's address as a place to go.
Okay.
No, he wants no contact.
Okay, so, ma'am, you've provided your mother's residence as an alternative, so the court is going to take that into consideration and release you on pretrial release, so I'm not requiring a bond. Let me just verify something as far as alcohol.
Your Honor, the alleged victim is waving his hands and
Yeah.
it seems like he
Oh,
wants to be
sorry,
heard.
yes, sir.
I know it's her consent. I can see on her. Pretty much every furniture in the house belong to her. So I mean, she's willing to take them when she's ready and find out the place to put it.
Well, I would certainly allow her one return to be able to move her things and to have law enforcement with her. But at the moment, I need to make sure that you're in separate places. So, you know, I can't give either of you legal advice. She's got a lawyer who's going to help her with that. And so what I've got to do right now is to make sure that you don't have contact with each other, that she has another place to go so you're not uprooted, and that she has the ability to return and get her things, that you live in separate residences, that you don't have contact, and that if there are any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, that those are surrendered to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and those would be weapons that you would have, not anything that you would have. So those are going to be the conditions. I'm not going to require a bond. She has no prior battery convictions. There was a prior alcohol-related offense. I don't see, was alcohol an issue in this event?
No.
Okay, so it'll just be straight pre-TR with those other conditions. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming. Good morning, sir. Are you Sean Parsons?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Parsons, can you tell me your date of birth, please?
November 1st, 1987.
All right, sir, you're before the court today charged with battery domestic violence. You've asked for a public defender. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And give me just a moment, sir. Okay, I'm looking for alternative residents.
Your Honor, Mr. Parsons lives there with a roommate, and she comes and visits. Apparently, the alleged victim lives with her mother.
Which is the opposite of what it says on the affidavit. So,
Well,
there are some other issues too, so let me go through those first.
yeah, the only thing, to remedy that, I would just say ask for maintain separate residence with no contact rather than a do not return. That way, that can be worked out later.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so we'll start with the fact that you're out on bond, sir, for possession of more than 20 grams of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia. That arrest was 5/23/2019, and the case number is 2019 CF7459AO. Did you just post a bond, or did you have an attorney appointed to represent you on that?
I had an attorney to represent me on that.
Okay. Is it a public defender, or did you hire somebody?
The public defender.
Great, okay, so you already got a public defender on that case, which is good, because the court's going to revoke your bond on that case, so you're held at no bond on 2019 CF7459. Also, looks like you're out on bond in a case in Volusia County, which I'm not going to touch because I don't have jurisdiction over that, but I'm taking that into consideration when it comes to your history and what kind of bond I'm going to set. You have 10 felony cases, 11 misdemeanors, 5 failures to appear, and 32 cases that have an unknown disposition. Included in that, I see an aggravated battery, at least a charge of first-degree murder, a charge of shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling or structure or vehicle. Some other cases I'm not going to put on the record, but that are in your history that the court has considered. Court's going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. There is no contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. I don't think you would have any guns, weapons, or ammunition, but if you do, they need to be turned into the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release. And And, right, no weapon, firearm, ammo, separate residence, no contact. Did you understand this form that you signed?
She's asking you a question.
Did you understand this?
I read over it. Yes.
Okay, do you need me to read over it with you to make sure you understand?
Yes, please.
Okay, you must not have any in-person or face-to-face contact with the victim. You must not write the victim, telephone the victim, page the victim, fax or text the victim. You must not email the victim, leave any notes, cards, or other items. Important that you must not have anyone send any messages to the victim, do anything which intimidates the victim in any way, or communicate in any way with the victim. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that any kind of violation of this could revoke any bond that I've given you on this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for your lawyer?
I just want to know. I got court coming up November 12th.
Well, if you've got court on your drug case, I'm sure they'll transport you, and if you've got the public defender on both cases, I'm sure they'll be talking to you about whether you're entitled to a bond reduction. Thank you, sir.
I'm saying this one.
Yeah, no, I'll tell him. I tell everyone.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Danielle Cobbin, 10780.
All right, ma'am, you're before the court today for charged with grand theft. This is on a warrant. Bond is set at $500. Did you already have a public defender appointed on this?
No, she got one.
Okay, well, I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. Bond is stayed. Oh, two? Hang on, let me make sure I got both of your cases here.
Oh, just one.
I think she's just got one. That's okay. Next person's got two? All right, giving me a heads up here. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Rohan Coombs.
All right, Mr. Coombs, is your date of birth 3/1999?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you're before the court today on a warrant. Let's see what this is. It's violation of the Pawnbroker Act, dealing in stolen property and petty theft. The judge has already reviewed this and found that there is probable cause for that. Bond in count 1 was set at $1,000, bond in count 2, $2,500, and bond in count 3, $150. And let's see, was there the second one? Just one? Okay. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, sir. I'm going to leave the bond stayed as they are. And good luck to you.
It's just a new warrant.
All right, Jamal Cumberbatch. All right, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Daniel Egley.
All right, Mr. Egley, you're before the court today charged with burglary of a conveyance and petty theft. It looks like you're already out on bond for grand theft of the third degree in 2019 CF 12819AO. Court's going to revoke your bond on 2019 CF 12819AO. Since you qualify for a public defender, if one was not previously appointed to you, one is now. As to your new charge of burglary of a conveyance and petty theft, considering the history of burglaries that you have, the court is going to set bond at $5,000 in count 1 and $100 in count 2. If you cannot bond out, you can contact your attorney. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Are you James Donald Fournier?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Fournier, can you tell me your date of birth, please?
8/10/85.
All right, so you're before the court today charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of drug paraphernalia. You're also out on bond for dealing in stolen property, 4 counts, including trafficking, receiving money from a pawnbroker by false verification of ownership or identification, in case number 2019 CF 5763-A-O. Court's going to make sure you've got a lawyer on that case, appoint the public defender's office if one was not previously appointed for you, revoke your bond so you're being held on no bond on that, and court's going to set bond in this case given the nature of the offense and the nature of what you were out on bond for, as well as your almost exclusively drug history. Court's going to set bond in count 1 at $5,000, count 2 at $100. Appoint the public defender to represent you on your new charges as well. Thank you, sir. Angelica Fuentes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
You're
morning.
before the court today charged with trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, Bond has been set pursuant to the bond schedule at $100,000. You've asked for a public defender. I'm going to appoint one to represent you. The bond's going to be stayed at that amount.
I'd like to note for the record that she has 0 criminal history and qualifies for pretrial release. If you would take that into consideration in reducing the bond, maybe not put her on PTR.
Based on the bond schedule, I'm going to leave it the way it is. That's certainly information that can be relayed to her assigned judge. Thank you. Daylin de las Mercedes Garcia. Good morning, ma'am. Before the court today, charged with sale and delivery of cocaine. That's by a warrant that was, probable cause was already found by another judge. Your bond has been set at $7,500. Court's going to leave that as it is. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. And if you cannot afford to post the bond, you can contact your attorney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. After we do these two, I just need a break to sign some more paperwork, okay? So, good morning, sir, or afternoon, I guess we are now. Your name, please?
Robert Gillum,
And Mr. Gillum, your date of birth?
May 8, 1980.
All right, Mr. Gillum, you're before the court today charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of heroin, possession of drug paraphernalia. This is an arrest warrant that was executed by another judge. They've set bond, count 1, $1,500, count 2, $1,500, count 3, $500, for a total of $3,500. Court's going to leave that in place. And I think you asked for a public defender, so I'm going to go ahead and appoint one for you. So if you cannot afford to bond out, you can have a bond hearing. Thank you.
Yep.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Diego Gomez.
Hi, Mr. Gomez, you're before the court today charged with grand theft of the 3rd degree. Court finds probable cause. Let's see, 3 cases. So first one is grand theft, second one's grand theft, third one is petty theft. Was this the one we talked about beforehand or a different one?
No, that's a different case.
Okay.
I think he's already been advised on some of these. I'm just not sure which ones.
Okay. I think these are all add-ons.
Oh, okay.
So we've got out on bond for 2019 CFK. So none of these are the ones that he's out on bond for? Okay.
The 19 CF 8876 was revoked yesterday, I believe.
Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. That's why I don't have a cover sheet probably.
I'm double checking for you.
Okay, thank you. While she's,
Yes, it was revoked on the 11th. Oh, but he got a new bond yesterday. No, okay, never mind. It's taken care of.
okay. All right, so as to 2019 CF 14918, I'm going to leave the bonds the same. There's a flurry of activity, but there's actually no prior felony convictions in Florida, so I'm going to take that into consideration, leave the bonds as they are. $2,500 as to the first case, $2,500 as to the second case, and $250. I'm going to bump up the petty theft based on the totality, so I'll do 500 instead of 250. So that's the only change. Thank you, sir. Public defender appointed.
100% sure. I didn't have a chance to look.
We're going to go off the record for just about 5 minutes to give everybody a break.
still on felonies. This one that Mr. Joshua, this is the one that had the grand theft, but the
Okay.
amount was $390.
What happened to Abriel Hamilton?
I don't have that.
What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Michelle Millie.
Hamilton, you don't have on my docket.
Okay, so
He a recent.
1903-1101.
hang on a second. We got two in front of you. We gotta know what happened.
1101.
Bonded.
Okay, and how about Desmond Joshua?
Refuse.
Okay, tomorrow? Or do you want to waive?
I can waive because we just pled on that case a week ago, so I'm sure he still qualifies.
Okay, so the court's going to find that Mr. Desmond Joshua qualifies for a public defender, appoints the public defender to represent him. And what were you asking the court to do?
Just set bonds if some of them aren't already set.
Okay, so I'll stay the bonds?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Now, sir, you are Mr. Michelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your date of birth, please?
November 28, 1989.
Okay, and do you waive reading of the?
Yes, I was just about to ask for that.
Yes, ma'am. I know to do that, so as long as you're agreeing on that. Court's going to find that there is probable cause, and I'll stay the bonds.
Which were at what amounts?
I've got 1,500 on 1, 100 on 2, 100 on 3, 100 on 4. And let me see what the conditions are. No contact with victim, co-defendant, or witness, and it looks like there are 2 more counts that are $100 each.
Okay.
Since those were set by another judge, I will leave them.
Okay.
Okay? You have a lawyer, sir. Thank you. Anthony Picirilli. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you tell me your date of birth, please?
July 8th, 1981.
All right, sir, you're before the court today charged with grand theft, dealing in stolen property, receiving money from a pawnbroker with false verification. These bonds have already been set in a warrant, so I'm going to leave them as another judge has reviewed this warrant and set those bonds. Count 1 is $2,500, count 2 is $100, count 3 is $100 for a total of $2,700. Conditions are no return to victim's residence or the pawn shop, and no contact with the victim. Do you understand those conditions?
Ma'am, yes.
You didn't fill out a PD form. Do you want a public defender to represent you or not?
I have an attorney, and I also bonded out this morning for that. I thought this was for the Seminole County charge. No?
Any other information for me to know?
I have an out of county on my face sheet for Seminole.
Okay, so if you have a detainer from Seminole, sir, they usually come get you within 24 hours. If they don't, you'll be brought back up probably 48 hours.
Ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you did not want a lawyer on this one, right?
No, I already have counsel.
Okay, who's your attorney?
Stacy Felter.
Okay, so just get in touch with your attorney once you bond out.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. All right, next, please. Ma'am, can you tell me your name?
Nia Jadi Ramirez.
All right, and ma'am, you're before the court today charged with trafficking in fentanyl. Standard bond is $100,000. Court's going to leave it at $100,000. Appoint the office of the public defender. And if you cannot post that bond, ma'am, you're welcome to contact your lawyer for a bond hearing. Thank you. Your name, sir?
John Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you're before the court today. Let's see where your paperwork is. Give me just a second, sir.
May I be heard on his out on bond case before you get into that?
Of course. Let me just
I'll
find
give you
his risk assessment sheet. There we go, got it. All right, so, sir, you are charged with trafficking, MDMA, sorry, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a controlled substance. Did you wish to be heard on any kind of probable cause issue or just on the revocation or not revocation?
Just on the revocation.
Okay, the court does find probable cause for the charge, and I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you on the new case. It looks like you might be out on bond on 2019 CF 14922, and I'll be happy to hear.
Your, I had a different case number. I had 2019 9356.
I think you're right.
Okay, and on that case, he was arrested on June 30th and no information's been filed to date. So I would ask that you take no action.
State have any position on that?
If I could just have one moment to verify, and that was 19 CF 9356.
Yes, ma'am. If an information has been filed, I'll address it. If it is not, I will leave it.
I'm sorry, one more time on that case number.
Yes, ma'am. 2019 CF 9356 AO.
I'm not seeing anything in our system for that case, Your Honor.
Okay, court will leave it. So bonds are going to stay on the new case as they are pursuant to the bond schedule.
Which are, I
100,000.
don't have them in front of me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. 100,000 on count 1, 150 on count 2, 150 on count 3, 150 on count 4. I believe there were only 4 counts. And as there's no information on the other charge, I'll leave it. Nope. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Tucker Nixon.
All right, Mr. Nixon, you're before the court today charged with trafficking methamphetamines and possession of drug paraphernalia. You've asked for a public defender. The court's going to appoint one to represent you. I'm going to stay the bonds at the standard bond schedule. $100,000 is to count 1, $100 is to count 2. If you cannot afford your bond, you're welcome to contact your public defender. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, he has no criminal history and qualifies for pretrial release. Would that
Based
change
on-
anything?
Based on the nature of the charge, and that's the standard bond. I've not increased it.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
Next, please. Good afternoon, sir.
Good evening.
You are before the court today for, looks like some add-on charges. So we've got introduction of contraband into a facility, which is cocaine. And then we have possession of cocaine. And then we have DUI. So let's see, I think there's one more.
For the record, could we restate the defendant's name?
Robert Isaac Van Ocean,
Okay, and your date of birth, sir?
11/25/1980.
All right, if I skipped that before, we got that now. So, and then the last charge is 386.051. That's what we're going to call that. You've asked for a public defender, sir. I'm going to appoint one to represent you. You take a look at your history. Mm-hmm. State wish to be heard on bond on introduction of contraband to the jail. It's
No,
showing
Your
as a no bond. I don't think that's normal.
What was,
Introduction of bringing cocaine into the jail. Okay. All right, 2,500 is the standard on that.
okay.
Possession of cocaine is 1,000. The DUI is 500. And the other one is 250. So I'm just going to leave the bonds the way they are, sir. And I've appointed the public defender in case you can't post. Thank you. Oh, he didn't qualify the PD. Sorry, I missed that. Is he still back there?
Here, step back just for a second.
I just assume everybody. I know. Sorry, sir, I had to correct one thing. Based on your income, you did not qualify for the public defender. Do you have any concern about being able to bond out?
I didn't know, so this is what I need to bond out, because last night they gave me a pretrial, I think it was, and then they said that these charges were gonna be added, so I didn't know if I needed to.
They probably screened you for pretrial and the DUI, and then when
Right.
the other things happened, that made things worse.
Okay,
So you're looking at just monetary bonds as far as I'm concerned on all those.
okay.
And so my question is, are you going to be able to bond out?
I'm gonna try. I really
Okay.
don't have family here.
Let me reset you for Wednesday of next week. If you're still here and you haven't been able to bond out, we'll reevaluate your public defender application, okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. You need a minute for that? Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Antonio Walker.
All right, Mr. Walker, you're before the court today charged with possession of MDMA, possession of cannabis, and resisting an officer without violence. The court does find probable cause. You've asked for a public defender. You do qualify. The court's going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
I don't know.
Give me just a minute to look at your history. Court's going to stay the bonds.
Which are?
1,500 count 1, 100 count 2, 100 count 3. Public defender appointed.
You don't qualify. Your attorney will come talk to us.
Thank you.
Your attorney will come see you and they will file a bond motion.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I'll remember to give you all the
No,
amounts.
it's all right.
Okay, your name, please?
Natasha Winkster.
Okay, well, so what happened to Brenton Welch?
Bonded, Your Honor.
All right. And Darius Wilson? Bonded? Great. All right, so you are Latasha Winkster, is that right?
yes.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Give me just a second to get to your paperwork. All right, you're before the court today charged with retail theft. And it looks like that was by a warrant that was issued on September 10th of 2019. So that bond is going to stay at $1,000. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. Or is this a, wait, hang on.
She was on bond on that case, but the husband endorsed it, came off it, so that's why she's back, because she bonded out before she was 28. So she's just here on that case, so just an endorsement.
Okay, got it. Sorry, a little different paperwork than what I normally see.
Wait, what happened?
She's gonna explain it.
So we just stayed at $1,000?
Yeah, the husband came off your bond, so now you gotta rebond $1,000. You gotta pay your
But
point.
you're.
Yeah, listen to her. Thank you.
Case is in my division.
All right, your name, please, sir?
Daniel Castillo.
All right, Mr. Castillo. You are before the court today charged with driving without a driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see if that's the only one. Nope, I think there's more than one. And possession of cannabis.
Yeah, but that wasn't mine.
Okay, don't talk. It's for your own benefit, sir. We're not being rude. It's,
All right, yeah.
you're being videoed all over the country, so somebody in, I don't know, Illinois could see you. And so we don't want you saying anything on the record that could compromise your rights.
All right.
So, he did not qualify for PTR?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
His, community ties was not verified, and he didn't, provide any community, not community, but emergency contact.
Contact numbers? Okay. All right, sir. Court's going to stay your bonds, so as to no valid driver's license, bond is set at $500. You've asked for the public defender. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you on that case and on your possession of cannabis. Bond is also $500 on that one as well. Since you didn't qualify for PTR, I'm just leaving your bonds where they are, okay? Thank you, sir. Your name, sir?
Omar Gear.
All right, Mr. Gear, you are before the court today charged with driving while your license was suspended or revoked. And you are on, let's see, you were released in April for driving while license was suspended or revoked.
May I say?
No.
I wouldn't, because anything you say is being recorded. So I am going to appoint a public defender to represent you, and I'm looking at your driving record to see why you're suspended. So give me a minute, because
ma'am.
based on your suspension, I may do something different than, I got to look and see what the basis is.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gear, unfortunately, based on your driving record, I got to do something here. Did you want a public defender to represent you or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to take a minute? Do you have his driving record?
No, we don't represent him on his add-on bond case, so I'm not able to click on his driving record. I already tried to pull it.
Okay. Do you want to approach and I can share mine?
Sure.
Can I tell you something?
I know what you want to say.
Tell you something?
You can take that back with you if you want. I'll give you a minute so that you can talk to your client since he wants to talk, but I don't want him on the record talking.
No, what I want to say is that I already done everything for the D6.
We're great.
Okay. Madam Public Defender, it indicates here that he's employed full-time at Miller's Ale House,
Yes, ma'am.
and he's had that job for how long?
I've had that one for 3 months, and I have a cleaning company that I've been with, but that I run, I'm sorry, for 20 years, 15, 20 years.
State wish to be heard?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
So I don't want you to talk,
Yes, ma'am.
but I want to just tell you out loud what my thought process is on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When somebody's suspended for financial obligations, that's one category. When somebody's suspended for not paying child support, that's a different category.
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's some stuff that's a lot older that doesn't really I'm not really that concerned about.
Yes, ma'am.
So I end up with a conundrum of if I put you in jail and you lose your job, then there's no basis for you to pay child support. But if you're not paying child support anyway, and again, I don't want you to talk to me, I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're continuing to drive, it seems like you're just going ahead and doing what you want to do and not maybe what you're supposed to do. So as much as I would like to revoke your bond on the driving while license suspended, I'd rather see you pay your child support. And I'd rather see you do what you're supposed to do and try to do what you can do to get a license back.
Thank you.
But I am going to take it out on you in increasing your bonds. I'm not going to revoke them,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
you're going to have to pay a little bit more to get out.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can tell you that if I come across you again and I'm seeing that child support's not being paid and things aren't being done, because that looks like that's one of the bases for your suspension. And again, I don't want you to talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's up to you to pull this record and figure out how you can try to fix it if you can.
Yes, ma'am.
But it shows a support delinquent DOR suspension back in 2014, again in 2015, again in 2015, and again in 2016. So if you've got children you need to support, that's what you need to be doing.
Yes, ma'am.
So court's going to increase the bond on 2019 CT at 315980 to 1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to give you a $1,000 bond on your new one.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a condition on both of these cases that you do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
Which means if you get picked up again, you'll now have 2 cases that will most likely be revoked at no bond, and you will sit here waiting.
I understand. Thank you so much.
So that's your chance. Address your situation.
I will. Thank you again.
Your name, please, sir?
Sean Hill.
All right, Mr. Hill, you're before the court today charged with trespassing on property after warning. All right. All right, this is a pliable.
Yeah, Mr. Hill would like to know if there is an offer.
State have an offer?
State does not have the record, so state does not have an offer at this time.
Okay. Then it looks like you're gonna have a $500 bond. No return to the airport. And let me see, did you want a public defender? You asked for one, I'll give you a public defender. Your name, please?
Willie Hill.
All right, Mr. Hill, you are before the court charged with impersonating, let's see, false identification given to a law enforcement officer and possession of drug paraphernalia.
And Mr. Hill was asking for an offer back there.
Okay. State prepared to give one?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond stayed at $500 on both counts. Roy Lee Levitt?
So what?
You need mental health?
Okay.
You're not clean today.
Do you want me to reset him? Let's reset him for Monday. Yeah, give him a little bit more time than tomorrow. Your name, sir?
Jorge Ortiz.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, you're before the court charged with trespass in an occupied structure. Court does find probable cause. Is there enough information for the state to be able to give an offer?
I apologize again. No, Your Honor.
Okay, court sets bond at $500, appoints the office of the public defender.
I'll tell your attorney, okay?
Thank you. Next, please. Your name, sir?
Larry.
Okay, are you Larry Road?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you know your birth date?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
92394.
Okay, that's right. Give me just a second. Okay, court finds probable cause, appoints the Office of Public Defender, bond set at $250, no return.
Do I get out today?
No, you have to pay that bond if you want to.
How long do I?
If you can post your bond, sir, you're welcome to get out. If not, you need to talk to your attorney.
How long will I be here?
You'll be here until you can talk to your attorney and post your bond or get it in front of a judge to reduce your bond.
I'm gonna send someone to see you.
Thank you.
Do I get out later today?
No, come on.
Thank you, sir.
Time to go, this way.
Do you know how many days there will be?
Sir, time to go, this way. Right to this.
I've made a note for the file.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Mark Mentor.
Okay, so what happened to Noel Vargas?
Behavior.
Oh, all right. I guess do you want to waive that, or based on the circumstances, do you need me
I would
to?
say reset it because there's all these other stuff.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see him tomorrow then. All right. Hang on a second. I apologize, sir. Your name again?
Mark Mentor.
All right, I've got your paperwork, Mr. Mentor. You're before the court today with an out-of-county warrant. Waive reading of the charges?
Yes, I didn't know what they were because it just said out-of-county warrant, but it should be waived in the waive it, please.
Yeah, will do. You're here on no bond, sir, so I can't change that. You are on a warrant from, let's see what county, Hillsborough?
Yes, ma'am.
They should be able to pick you up within 72 hours. If
Okay.
they haven't, you'll probably be brought back up here so we figure out what to do with you, but usually they come within the 72.
Okay. And
Thank
we
you,
don't
sir.
know what the violation is?
I don't, I just have the warrant.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next, please. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth, please?
Jade Brodus, 7/25/93.
Maria Gonzalez, hospital, 24 hours, they said that once you get out.
Okay, 24-hour reset once she gets out. You need a minute? I kind of dumped a bunch of money.
No, it's just, I see what I'm saying. George Torres Cruz had an out bond, but we didn't mention him.
He wasn't in front of us,
No.
and he has a no bond warrant, I think.
Yes, didn't he? So this is hospital? Yes, I got it. I mean, yes, sir.
I think we're all on the same page
I do it all
now.
the time.
I got it.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can you remind me of your name?
Jade Brodus, 7/25/93.
Thank you, Ms. Brodus. You're before the court today on a violation of probation in 2018 CF 17409. And let's see what I've got on that. Guess this is an on view. Yep, so that's an on view, so that's no bond, appoint the public defender. As to the new charge, that's a capias with an ROR on count 1 and $500 on count 2. No contact, indirect or direct with victim, co-defendant, or witness, and no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Public defender appointed on both. Thank you.
You're good to go.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name, please?
Joshua Kyle Patrick Duncan,
All right, Mr. Duncan, and your date of birth, please.
7/27/92.
Okay. You're before the court today with a new charge of possession of methamphetamine and a possession of drug paraphernalia. And it looks like an on-view violation of probation. So the court sets no bond on 2019 CF 4838, appoints the Office of Public Defender to represent you. And sets bond in the amount of $1,500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2 on the new charges.
So I'll be able to bond out?
Nope,
No bond on your.
because you're on probation, sir. Next, please. What's your name?
Freddie Febres.
All right, sir. Are you also known as Freddie Febres Santos?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your date of birth, sir?
08/19/1986.
All right, so you've got a warrant on a violation of probation from Orange County, Division 14. The allegation is that you were placed on probation on or about August 28th, and that there are some new charges and violations of your conditions. The judge in that case has set bond at none. The court can't change that, so I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and you'll be brought back in front of Judge Young as soon as possible. Next, please. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Brian Fellows.
All right, Mr. Fellows, you're before the court today on a BOP. Let's take a look. You have a warrant for violating your probation on dealing in stolen property, an allegation of new charges. There's no bond on that warrant, and you're in front of Judge Adams. Let's see, are these the same? It's okay, you got two of them. Yeah, these are two different BOPs on two different charges with the same no bond. And they're in front of the same judge, so you should be able to resolve them at the same time. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, though, so if you have any questions, you can talk to your attorney.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, please. Your name, sir?
Sebastian Gomez.
All right, Mr. Gomez, you're before the court today also on a violation of probation. You've allegedly violated Condition 1, which was, looks like a failure to report. The judge in that case has set your bond at none. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender as you requested, and you'll be held without bond until you get in front of that judge. Thank you. Next, please. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Your name, please?
Cedric Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones, you're before the court today on a warrant. All right, Madam Public Defender, I'm going to appoint your office to represent you, represent him. This is a violation of monetary obligations. However, there is a no bond.
Yes, I understand what you're thinking. We'll just address it at the very first VOP day and
Please.
hopefully get it dismissed.
Do you need a moment with your client?
I'll explain it. Yes. But since they want to inside, I can't challenge the motion. Is that what you're doing as well?
He refused to pay Mr. Jordan. He refused to, he said 10.
I know, you'll see Jeff like the first
Hearing. He was out on bond on the case, but he was rejected the case. The defense attorney said they got.
Your attorneys will know exactly what to do with this.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Good luck. Hang on one second. I need to deal with something.
So it was a reset, yeah, it was a reset. He refused to attend. I mean, yeah, so the defense attorney waived his appearance, but we didn't address this part up here, so they want to reset it for tomorrow? Let them know to reset it for tomorrow.
This is the one we just did, or is this the Osceola?
It's Osceola.
Okay, I guess we gotta reset.
Okay, because.
Hold on. Anyway. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Noel Rowland.
All right, and, all right, that's the last one we just did. All right, Mr. Rowland, you are before the court today on a violation of probation. Let's take a look and see what I've got. Looks like an on view. Give me just a minute, sir.
All right.
State, what's your position if the court wanted to give a bond on a on-view VOP?
For an open container.
For an open container?
I will refer to your judgment on this one, Your Honor.
Oh, good. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender on the BOP, and I guess on the new charge as well, even though it's what it is. I'm going to ROR you on the new charge. And I would expect that you'd be able to report to your probation officer no later than noon on Monday. Is that reasonable?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have transportation to be able to get there by noon on Monday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you inquire as to whether any bond can be paid?
Yes, Your Honor, he can't afford a bond. We'd be asking for a $1,000 bond.
Perfect. $1,000 bond. I'm going to change the language just a little bit. You need to report to probation within 24 business hours after your release. So I just want to make it so that it's simple for you, and that may not be the simplest way to do it. What's your suggestion?
I think that makes sense. If he bonds out within, like, report by noon of the next business day after his release.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because you said report probation by noon
On the first?
The business day following his release.
Yeah.
Because if he bonds out today, that would be Monday. If he bonds out on Monday, it would be Tuesday. That's where my head's at.
That's where mine is too, although I didn't articulate it well. By noon, the first business day after he bonds out. Are you with us, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't want you to talk to me, but I want to just tell you that you're close to coming off of that probation. So please don't do anything that brings you back here. Okay?
You want something again?
All right. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
So you did find PC on the?
I did find PC. I did. Okay, and I have Seabury left. Okay.
He, what? Refused. Okay.
So this is a BOP with a warrant. I got 3 of them. Do you want me to reset them, or do you want to wait?
Okay, please reset them.
Okay. All right, we will reset for tomorrow. Is there any other business before the court? Anything else that I need to fix or correct?
No, I think we're covered.
Okay, thank you all for your appearance, and we're done for today.